Clearly, when we go into such detail like this build, if you have to ask for the price, it's already out of your budget. Welcome back, guys, on my YouTube channel. I'm very excited today because finally, after a long time, I bring you this T7 on the channel. This very special and unique build was presented at EICMA at the Enduristan booth, but also it's a bike I've already used for the adventure riding schools. Finally, I find the time to sit down here with you and bring you through every modification we made. Sit tight because there's really a lot to say. Let's start almost from the ground, or where we started this build, because we teared apart the full bike. We brought it just to the frame, so the engine came out. We went and powder coated the frame in this really Yamaha style blue. So I'm sure it's very difficult you'll find any T7 with a blue matte frame. From the engine, then we removed all the casings and we started Cerakoting in this burnt bronze color, all the casing and the cylinder head, but also the water pump cover and even the foot peg brackets. Foot pegs, we went with the Rebel X wider rally foot pegs. These are wider, longer, you have much more surface for your foot than the OEM foot pegs. From this view, you also see the silicone hose kit for the bike. Just to let you know, this silicone hose kit fits all the 2025, so from 2019 model all the way to 2025 included, all the different versions. It fits and it comes in different colors. We chose red because it makes a very cool contrast with the blue, but these are available also in gray, in purple, in yellow, in blue, and so on. Keeping the eye always on this section of the bike, a very important upgrade we did. We changed the rear brake reservoir. We put the YZ450 one, which is much more aggressive because we completely removed the ABS. Removing the whole ABS system and upgrading to these motocross brake pumps, both on the rear and also on the front, we changed the master cylinder and went for the YZ ones. Means you also have to change the brake hoses, but this will give you a much more aggressive braking, so you'll be able to stop in a way shorter distance than the OEM. Moving forward, you see we protected the whole engine and the frame with this full carbon skid plate. It's pretty thick and it blends in perfectly with the plastic designs, which for me is very important because I want the bike to be the best looking T7 out there, even though I have another T7 I'll bring in future on the channel. It's the white purple anniversary one. Moving on to the wheel side, we changed the wheels. We went with Han wheels, so CNC machine hub, black spokes, black nipples, and blue rim. These wheels have reinforced spokes, but especially on the rear wheel, we went with the 2.5-inch rim. Compared to the 4-inch rim, which is what the standard bike mounts, on the 2.5-inch, you're able to put mousse like desert mousse, and so you also have a bigger variety of off-road tires specific that you can mount. You can then see we removed one caliper and we kept only one disc and one caliper. We have developed then with braking for when I was running the factory Yamaha Tenere rally team, a bigger front disc. So this is an oversized disc with a specific caliper support. Around here, then you have this front low fender. This is something I personally worked on, and we handmade the design to then create the mold, and then we made this fiberglass low fender. We also produced and installed these on the custom bikes we built for Paul Tarris, and he also used it when he made the Guinness World Record in South America. Many have asked me already in the past if this is available for purchase. It is, but it's quite an expensive product because even though we have the mold made for the fender, Still, it's a lamination handmade process, which requires a lot of time also to then place here the grille so that we have better ventilation. And this rear part of the fender is so that the ventilation is directioned to the engine. So everything was really thought out, and we made many different versions before reaching this in order to have the final product. Now, looking at the front of the bike, we have the Rebel X Rally Pro Kit, which consists of the main tower and this fairing that lets you house the lightweight LED headlight. This removes like 2.5 kilograms just by switching to this headlight and this fairing. It's evident we had to upgrade also the suspensions. We went with the KYB factory forks. I want to make clear that this is not a motocross or enduro fork adapted to the T7, but personally I worked directly with KYB to develop a specific fork for the T7. This is also the reason why the factory riders use this and don't use other KYB forks adapted to the T7. Because also we designed the triple clamps, because these are 48mm forks. We designed the triple clamps so that we would keep the same identical offset as the original, because working also with the Yamaha Europe engineers, it was fundamental to keep the same geometry in order to maximize the performance of the T7. I almost forgot to match the gold of the triple clamps and other details. We also changed the turn indicators, much more compact. These are from Barracuda design with the gold compact LED. They look really nice, and in case of crash, being less exposed, it's more difficult that you'll break them. To install these, we 3D printed an adapter so that we could fit them. Moving on to the rider's perspective, this is the last evolution design I made of the triple clamps. I made only this prototype, and I went with the gold anodization just to match even the levers anodization and make it look good with the forks. We then moved the OEM dashboard on the handlebar because we wanted to have enough space to put the carpe heater, and as always we wanted to keep the geometry of the bike very compact for a reason. The further forward you come with the tower, the more you will feel the weight when riding, and also in case of crash it will be easier to bend everything. Keeping everything compact with the same identical dimensions of OEM provides the most reliable solution for your T7 tower. On the side of the tower we also placed the USB port so that if I need to charge anything, I can do it at any time. On the handlebar, then you see we changed also the throttle body. We went with the enduro throttle body and cables. We changed the levers and the handlebar because this is a pro taper motocross handlebar. It's the YZ high bend. It's personally what I prefer to use, but also is the same bend that Botturi and Paul Tavares used at the Africa race when I was running the team. We also have the Pro Taper levers. These are really nice because they have the quick adjuster, really important for factory riders because they can adjust the feel of the lever depending on how much pull they want on the front brake, and on the clutch you have the quick adjuster in case you're using a bit too much the clutch and it's slipping. You can give it a bit more play. Changing the throttle body and the handlebar, let me place motocross OD soft grip hand grips. These I prefer them much more because I have a good sensibility, but being soft, other than having a really good grip, also on long days it doesn't wear my hands out too much compared to the OEM that's too rigid, at least for myself. Everything is wrapped up with the factory rally handguards. You always ask, these will eventually be on the Rebel X website. We went with the white and with the blue flap so that it would match the rest of the design of the bike. On the handlebar, there is also a small upgrade I still didn't do, but plan on doing, which is removing this block, which is very bulky because I want to install a Bluetooth switch to command the carpe heater. This is from Ursuai System. I really like the design and the feel of the buttons and the fact that it has this short thumb switch to bring forward and backward the road book when I go with the digital road book. It's nice and sturdy, so to put this and have more space in this area, I also got this switch which comes with the open cable, so I'll need to lose some time figuring out all the pins where they go, but just look how much more compact this is compared to this. Stay tuned on my Instagram page, because when I'll do the upgrade, I'll share some stories showing you how this will look. The full bike design was made by us because we have the printing machines to do our custom graphics. We got inspiration from the motocross, supercross bikes back in the year 2000s, because the factory Yamaha supercross bikes were very simple design. It would basically have mainly only the speed blocks and all in blue. So that's what we did. We went with a matte finish and with a very thick lamination, so to protect also the bike, keeping it simple using just 3 colors, white, gray and blue. But something that not many builders surely do is we also coated all the plastics. We removed everything, even the tank. As we always work for perfection, we didn't want outside the sticker kit to see other colors, and we didn't want to see the gloss finish of the OEM blue plastics. Clearly, when we go into such detail like this build, if you have to ask for the price, it's already out of your budget. This was my personal bike, so I just went full in and did everything I could do to this bike. But taking down the plastics, the tank, coating everything in the same color in this matte blue is a very expensive process. To match all the graphics and the blue, we asked Selle dalla Valle to do us a custom seat. So this is slightly higher seat and it's full blue. The quick dry leather doesn't exist in blue, so we had to decide which other material to use. We use this material called asphalt. We use it sometimes on the enduro bikes when we want good grip but not too much grip like the motocross bikes. It's not as comfortable as the quick dry leather, but still we added the small layer of memory foam and the camel humps here on the rear. For the use I make of this bike, which is in here in Europe to hold the adventure rally schools and to take part in events, is pretty fine with me. We have then a full titanium exhaust system. We put the Akrapovic one. Now you see this banged up and used one. Actually, Paul, I lent him my bike and he had destroyed the carbon protector, and then just this was placed in the workshop and never had the time to then order or find the part to put back the carbon protector. But the reason for which I'm keeping this is because I use it for the rally schools, sometimes also in very tight sections. But for the trade show, I had a brand new exhaust, which I still have here in the workshop, and it's the other Akrapovic rally model exhaust. But since that is brand new, and I know that with branches everything here, I would scratch it everywhere. For when I use the bike, I use this without the DB killer, so it makes so much noise, which is totally illegal, but I'm able to always escape if someone tries to stop me. This said, this improves the performance of the bike and gives it a bit more responsiveness. In order to improve the performance of the bike, the ECU, this is the GYTR ECU that we developed when we launched the GYTR prototype. Same goes with the airbox. The airbox is the GYTR airbox with the GYTR air filter that gives a lot more surface. It's a foam filter, so easy to remove and change. But the biggest advantage of having the full titanium exhaust, airbox and ECU is that we developed it in over a year of tests in Tunisia, in Morocco, Racing Tunisia Desert Challenge, Africa Race. So this is the best if you want to boost the performance of your T7. But keep well in mind, do not change just the airbox without the other two components, because then you won't have the feel you really want on the bike and the responsiveness you're looking for on the throttle. Other small detail is the rear license plate holder. We wanted to remove also the big chunky OEM headlight, and we went with an enduro tail light with this metal license frame holder. This is made by Boano, a good friend of mine. It's not available in blue. We powder coated it together with the frame. On this side you'll be able to see the rear shock. We went with the Rally Raid UK rear shock that is developed together also with Tractive. Once again, this is exactly the same shock with a longer travel than the OEM that Paul has been using since 2021. Having a longer travel, it makes the bike a bit taller. Same goes with the front forks because they have 270 millimeter of travel. So the bike is pretty tall. Even for me that I'm 183 centimeters, when I jump on it, I can't really touch with both my feet on the ground. Is an upside for me when I'm riding off-road. It's a downside when you have to move around the bike or if you're not very tall. Amongst the many changes we did here, we also changed the chain and the sprockets. We went with a 520 chain, so a lighter chain by RK, a Japanese manufacturer. We also had to clearly change the front sprocket and the rear sprocket. We made the gearing ratio so that it would be a bit shorter, so that when we are enduro style trails, we have more pull at the low gears and we don't really need a full speed of 200 kilometers an hour, even though the engine of the T7 is so strong and so reliable that you can basically do 190 kilometers an hour with no problem, even with this gearing ratio. Last but not least, we also changed the filler cap of the tank, because with the key sometimes it does vapor lock because this tank is quite wide. So to avoid the key breaking inside and sometimes having difficulty when you have a lot of sand and dirt, we went with this. So we just have a screw cap on so that when we stop, it's easy and quick to put fuel, but also it's easy to steal fuel for me. One small but fundamental upgrade I did was the sprocket cover. The OEM is in plastic and quite bulky. The problem is it clogs up a lot of mud, and since I use it here also in the winter, I designed this flat sheet metal with some spacers, so this lets me have a lot more space to clean the bike also when I'm using the power washer. But if I get too much shit clogged up, with the two bolts I remove it and it's very easy to clean. Well guys, finally we are at the end of the video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I already know one of the most common comments or message I will receive is the cost of this bike, but please, I don't want to think about it because this was really crazy expensive to build and develop, but I'm very happy with the results. So this bike I'll never sell. It will stay with me for life. Having built this bike for myself, I really wanted to have the best of the best, but also I wanted it to be a unique bike where everyone would recognize me when riding it. I really thank you guys for watching. Also, I'm slowly updating my new blog where I'll post about builds and also maybe put some photos. It's rallykits.com. Be sure to check it out. Meanwhile, I'll see you soon in the next one. Ciao!